Todd Wente here with Path to Progress for September 8th, 2025. Marching through the bottom half of the year, getting ready for the exciting part of the year, the end of the year. Here in my mobile office, getting ready to head into the main office, and thinking a lot about an interaction that I had this morning, maybe with one of you that watches this channel. My daughter called in. She called when my wife and I were on a walk, and said that she had a couple of nightmares. She said a couple of bad dreams. I shared with her a thing that I had learned from reading a book called The Storytelling Animal, where the author had suggested that nightmares are the brain's way of doing a simulation. He contended that most dreams that people remember are bad dreams. They're not good dreams. And as I read that, I thought to myself, that's probably true. I think it's ironic that we say pleasant dreams. That just means that you're not going to remember them. And his point was that all of those bad dreams that we have are the brain's way of looking at a situation and saying, if you're in the situation, here's what's going to happen. Here's how we're going to respond. Let's practice the response. In most of our lives, we have other kinds of ways of practicing responses. In driving, we have simulators. In flying, we have simulators. In customer service, we have sometimes very accurate simulations that we can put together in a computer, and sometimes we have very hands-on human simulations. I spent a lot of time as a trainer developing what we would call role-play scenarios, and depending on how good your role players were, you got an opportunity to practice something. The same thing I think is true of books and movies. They are opportunities to simulate or to practice how we might feel and how we might respond in situations, or options for responding in situations where we see things happen. That's why people who watch a lot of action movies think that they can do action-oriented stuff. They've simulated it frequently. Simulations are useful. They give us an idea. They give us information. They help us recognize situations that we might find ourselves in, or that need to be resolved, that need to have action taken. But simulations are not the real thing. Simulations are opportunities to look at things and ask ourselves, let me rephrase. For me, simulations are an opportunity to see something and to ask myself, do I have enough information? Do I have enough experience to get myself through these kinds of situations? In a lot of them, I would say that the answer is probably no. But in many of them, I think the answer is perhaps yes. Stories, movies, books, conversation, all of that is information given to us with an effort or with an opportunity to prepare ourselves for situations we might find ourselves in, to practice responses, to get a list of those kinds of opportunities, and then be able to use them to move ourselves forward. Because when we come across a real situation, it's not unfamiliar. It's just perhaps a little unpracticed. Making progress is easier done and faster done if we have some practice. So, I guess my takeaway from this morning's interaction is to remember that simulations can be useful because they give me that information. And it's not a bad thing to daydream, to listen to books, to read books, to watch movies, provided that those things are not just, for me, entertainment, but are also opportunities to look at situations and say to myself, how might I respond in that? And then look for opportunities where that wisdom can be cultivated more aggressively by real experience. That's what I'm thinking about, at least. Hopefully it helps me make a little bit of progress. If that's interesting for you, I hope you share this video with other people. And if my daughter's watching, hey, sweetheart, I love you. In the meantime, this has been The Path to Progress. My name is Todd Wente. Nullum Diem We'll see you next time.